right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle Edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. How you living, buddy?
It's Wednesday, dude. We're getting into it, getting the boards ready.
What is it?
Getting ready.
Again? What's the day?
First Friday.
Thank you.
Getting ready.
Thank you.
To meet the Ravens. I've been distracted. I've been nose down. You've seen me nose down.
You have. You've been grinding the
it
boards.
out.
This is one of my favorite things. For those folks listening on the or watching on the YouTube stream, these are the Z boards.
Yeah.
And so you, I don't know where's like a single shot. We don't need everything, but like if you take the single of me, then you should be able to see it.
Yeah.
Dr. J. Anyone?
Give it
Anyone?
to him. Give it
Anyone,
to him.
Dr. J?
Give it to
Anyone?
him.
Hey, there you go. So there you see all the color coding that you do.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of my favorite treats. I love looking at these as you go through.
It's a First Friday tradition.
Yeah, it's lovely. So you getting those boards in there. There's a lot. I noticed there's a lot of highlighter stuff, some big notes, a lot of blue notes.
A lot of. So that's blue is they're a new player to the team.
Yep.
Gold is Pro Bowlers, and so far on the Ravens we've got, believe it or not, 9 golds. 9 guys on the Ravens made the Pro Bowl team last year. That was the most in the NFL. That is a lot.
It's the best. They're an interesting operation because I think they're the best roster in the NFL.
Yep.
Like it's them and Philly, but I think theirs might be a little better than Philly's top to bottom. There's not a whole lot of weaknesses there, but they're also this organization that for sure has the most pressure of any team in football this year.
Yeah.
I mean, they are all chips in. There's several that are. Buffalo's, I think, in the vicinity. I think Cincinnati, despite what they don't have defensively, I think they are kind of that way. But this is it. This is the most pressure-packed operation in the sport is this Baltimore team. They got to win a Super Bowl this year. It's time for them to get there.
Yeah, it feels like it. And if there is an Achilles heel, it's their inability to hold leads. John Harbaugh's lost 17 games in which his team has held a 10-plus point lead in the second half, most of any coach since the year 2000. One of those was against us in 2023. They were up 10 in the fourth quarter before Greg Newsome had a pick 6. He's going to be our guest later on the program. It's called a tease, and we will talk about that. But how about this? The Ravens became the first team. Ours was bad. We did something that hadn't been done in a quarter century. They did 2 things in this game where we're first evers. Ravens, first team in NFL history with 40-plus points and 235-plus rushing yards in a loss. Teams were previously 277-0 with those stats. By the way, they produced 40-plus points and over 400 yards in offense on 51 offensive plays.
God.
They almost averaged a point a play.
Point a play. It's crazy. Yeah.
Nuts. They also became the first team in NFL history to lose a game in regulation after leading by 15 or more points with under 4 minutes to go. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
One of the thing that it's kind of a hot topic of the day around here. It picked up some momentum yesterday, and then today, obviously, a lot of the locals have been discussing it, and I've seen it go around the social channels. What they are doing to honor 30 years in Baltimore, or 30th season. Next year is actually the 30th anniversary because their first year there was 96, right? That was the 96. Yeah, so the 30th anniversary will be next year. This is their 30th season playing in Baltimore. And then so Oz is going to be there, 2 draft picks and all of that. And then they're bringing back what? Modell's kid? Is that the deal?
Yes.
He's coming back too.
And a lot of other people.
Yeah. So I thought, and I didn't know this because I have not been with us on the travel to Baltimore, but I thought, well, maybe it's just a coincidence. The NFL, we open with our home game over there. You guys were quick to say, actually, no.
No. Every time we're there, they do something to either try to embarrass. It's ridiculous. They try to do something.
They stick it to us every time we go over there.
Every time we're there.
And this goes back for years, Gibby.
This team can go straight to hell this week for what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, that's like a pretty wild
Good job out of you, Gibby.
Like,
good job out of you.
There's, like, you can have the subtle digs.
Sure.
Like, the last
overt.
Super Bowl. We're like their homecoming game.
Yeah.
Now, we have spoiled it
Yeah.
on more than a few occasions, and I got a feeling our quarterback is licking his chops to do that on Sunday.
Yeah.
I think maybe a little more than he lets on.
Yeah.
But I'm just – this is pretty low.
Yeah.
This is pretty scummy. You know,
Like, we were there one year.
it's ridiculous.
Ernest Biner, who played 7 games with the Browns and obviously had 1,000-yard season in 1985.
7 seasons, not games.
What did I say?
7 games.
7 seasons, yes, 7 seasons with the Browns. Finished his career in Baltimore for 2 years. Didn't even have 1,000 yards in the 2 years combined. And there were a few years ago we were there, and they like honored him as a great Ravens legend when they were playing the Browns.
This is what they do.
Yes, this is what they do. It's despicable.
They trot out like the alums only seem to come back when they play us.
Yeah.
Ed Reed is like the honorary captain one year. Ray Lewis comes out of the tunnel.
He's there again this
out
year.
of nowhere,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, great,
fantastic.
you know.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. You guys have
yeah.
that. You guys have that because you've lived it, and you go over there every year, and so you have to deal with it, and so you know that. And the only way you know is if you were in the organization or you're somebody who went to every game that's played over there who's a Browns fan. Otherwise, you wouldn't know that this is their operation. Because on the television copy, they're not showing all this stuff.
Right.
You know, we're not getting all this. We're not getting honorees at halftime of an NFL game. And
I mean, they're bringing out the former mayor, the governor, all these shady people that made this stupid deal happen.
Yeah. It's bad. So it's you use this to give you full credit because you mentioned this before we got on air. This is the Adams ownership in Tennessee sticking it to Houston.
Yeah.
It's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. 100. Now, it's funny because when you go there, everybody in that building's incredibly nice.
Yeah.
Like they're over the top nice.
Yeah.
Ozzie Newsome comes into the booth and greets you 20 minutes before kick.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like,
but then they do this
this. I sent Simone a text, and I said, I want you to let it be known all the way to the top of your little totem pole that this is
Yeah.
garbage.
This is not
Not having
okay.
it. Yeah. And by the way, I don't need any more seafood towers, Simone.
Yeah.
I need a warm something warm.
cooked.
We can't just eat cooled seafood for 2 hours and
Something
call it a
cooked.
meal. It's not a meal.
And then charge me $200,
and charge me for it.
even though you lost the bet.
Nothing came out of his pocket, by the
Nothing.
way, that night.
No,
Nothing.
no
Not
way.
A cent.
Nope.
Not a cent.
Did out of ours.
Sure did. Sure did. Well, at least that place doesn't exist anymore. So that's
Karma.
maybe that's the all-time win for everybody involved in that
I
entire
am
thing.
thoroughly disgusted. My wife is like, you got to get over this. I was like, I want you
You're
to get
never
on the
gonna.
phone, and I want you to call my father
Yeah.
and tell him to get over it.
You're never
Because
gonna
our family was friends with the Modell family.
Yeah.
My grandfather played golf.
with
Like,
yeah.
cut ties. You're dead. Like,
Yeah.
don't ever reach out.
Yeah,
ever
we're good.
again.
Yeah.
Scum of the earth. We're
It's-
going to honor it on Sunday. Great. Hope we kick their ass.
Yeah, and I mentioned this to you guys before because it also, I mean, it happened to them. It happened to that city.
Yes.
The Ursays did that. You know, they took the Colts from them, and so they know it absolutely. Yeah, that whole thing, man. It's crazy. This all these years later, and still trying to do that at every opportunity. All right, we've had some availabilities today. You're going to hear from Joe Flacco in totality, his availability in the second hour of the program. Coach Stefanski addressed the media today as well, and he weighed in on Andre Schmidt and the kicking for the Browns and who's going to do it on Sunday. Here he is on that.
Yes, and I'll say it again. We expect Andre to do his job just like our team expects me to do my job, how I expect every player to do their job. We're not going to be perfect. We'll own that together, but we have a ton of confidence because of what we've seen from this young man.
Yeah, so now we just got to make him. That's just kind of where you're at. It's just got to go make him at this point.
Confidence at this point in him has to be earned by what he does when games matter.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
I liked my plan. I think
your plan was solid.
Maybe it happened.
Maybe it did.
It wouldn't be
we
public,
don't know.
but maybe it did.
No,
happen. Maybe
yeah,
that's how
it's
he's still here.
Possible that it did happen exactly that way.
You know, you like my plan, Gibby? Did you listen?
Did you
to
hear
that
it,
yesterday?
Gibby?
So I did not hear it live,
Yeah.
but so I got back from the doc, took some drugs, and
Yep.
I went
need
to
like
sleep.
a mirror. Maybe I don't know.
Well, when he
Here that
designs
would be
when he's going to design the new studio, he'll make sure
I
that
want to
he's
be able to look at him and see him.
here.
No,
so
I'll
we
be
can-
behind both of you, knowing how this works.
He'll be there.
Yep, I'll be
Nobody
right
can-
behind both
You're
of
gonna
you.
be going like
Just
this.
waving.
Cut.
Cut.
He'll
Yeah,
be like
there we
down
go.
3
Can't
stairs,
see.
like
I
down
know.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, there won't be a talk back. There won't be squat.
Where is he? Oh, we put him in the room down the hall. We thought
We just ran a cable down. Maybe that'll work. So I laid down because I just wasn't feeling great.
Yeah.
And woke up to like 14 text messages that were like, Zagura's onto something.
It's a great idea.
And I was like,
It's a great idea.
what has happened in the 2 hours I've been asleep?
I mean, award-winning radio is what happened.
That's what
Well,
happens. Miss a little, miss a
yes.
lot.
Well, I went back and listened. I thought it was ingenious.
Great idea.
Yeah, I'm in.
Nothing more pressure packed than that. Go make them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing where kickers and punters are concerned, because you really don't want to ever notice them. You just want them to go do what they're supposed to do. Long snappers, holders, like the expectation is go make it. Like,
I just take it for granted that the kick's going to be good. That's what you want.
There you go. That's a better way to put it. It's just,
oh, he's going to go make this.
He's going to go make it. It's 42 yards. Okay. He's going to bang it in. Let's go. 3-zip on to the next. That's just it. And the teams that – here's the thing that you realize the year we had D-Hop really humming in 2023. When you have one of those, it's so comforting. And you don't even sweat any of it. You're like, oh, that's going in.
There are very few teams, I would imagine, that make the playoffs that have a kicker where you're losing points. I mean, and I actually liked the post, so I could go back to it. So we saw the stats about Stefanski and the one-score games and all the things that are lost. By the way, Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke, just called for the Miami Dolphins to do whatever they must to acquire Shedeur Sanders.
Uncle Luke?
That's right.
He's in the mix?
Yeah.
I didn't know he's still around. Yeah. I mean,
guess.
he was funding that Miami Hurricanes NIL in the 80s.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what he said. Dear Miami, 4 hours ago.
Were you able to get?
It's
real.
real.
Go ahead.
Yeah, real. Dear Miami Dolphins front office, do whatever you have to do. Trade for Shedeur Sanders. There
nice. Fantastic.
Why not us?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would Pedro and the official Nana, did they greenlight you owning any of Uncle Luke's recordings?
No, they did not. I did.
Were you able to
however,
procure some?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, they did not. Hold on, let me find this tweet real fast.
Yeah, that's something that's very difficult to explain to children now who have everything's at their fingertip. But like the hoops you had to jump through to get a hold of that CD was a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
All right, NFL average since the year 2020, since Kevin Stefanski became the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, NFL average on extra points is 85%.
Okay.
Browns are 78%. That is worst in the NFL. The NFL average under 40 yards, field goals of fewer than 40 yards, 95% makes. The Browns are at 88%, worst in the NFL. From 40 to 49, the NFL average is 79%. Ooh. The Browns are at 69%, 31st in the NFL. The only place where the Browns have been better than the NFL average on kicks of more than 50 yards, the NFL average 68%, and the Browns 71%. From Mikey McNuggets, courtesy of True Media Sports. I mean, so that's been we've had the worst kicking situation. So the fact that we've made the playoffs twice now in that 1 year, imagine we didn't have that year of D-Hop. What would everything else look like? I mean, those numbers would be even worse.
Yeah, be even worse. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. If it's because obviously we've tried a bunch. We've drafted a bunch of kickers. We've tried a bunch of kickers in there. We signed D-Hop after the great year. Like we've done all of these things. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a stadium. I don't know what, but there's something in that's just it hasn't worked. It just hasn't worked. I mean, I think of all of the stuff Cade went through when you were trying to get him right. I remember you remember before what was the game when he had the miss? Because before that, one of the things that I remember taking the boys to a game early in the season, and his warm up was like something you better be in the building to watch.
I remember
because he was banging like 65, 70 yarders in warm up, like to just get loose. It was crazy.
There was a preseason game against the Bears.
That was year 2, though, wasn't it?
And he was doing all kinds of good. So he really only kicked.
Hit the game winner
22
in Charlotte, right?
And then by 23 he only kicked his rookie year here. So he starts off 4 for 4, 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 2 for 2. So he starts off making his first 8 kicks in the NFL. Goes 8 for 8. And then he goes 0 for 2 against the Chargers in a game that we lose 30 to 28.
That's it. That's what
comes back the next week, goes 3 for 3 in a blowout loss to New England. 2 for 3 and misses the end of the game in Baltimore. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Then 1 for 2, yeah, and then a lot of misses down the stretch. Basically missed one every game.
Yeah,
and then that was it.
That was it. Other news in the building today, Quinshon Judkins is not in the building. The plan is for him to practice tomorrow per Kevin Stefanski. 30 minutes after coach's presser from Ian Rappaport, Quinshon Judkins is in New York City today meeting with the NFL as part of its investigation under the personal conduct policy. Just me speaking, nothing organizationally. I just wish this stuff was much more streamlined and much more just matter of fact. I don't think there needs to be any mystery around him being here today. It's Tuesday, just go to Tuesday, go to New York, make it and go, and on to the next. To me, it's not like the NFL isn't working on Tuesday.
That's what I'm saying. Why would this be done on a Wednesday?
Right. Just do all the player stuff on
obnoxious.
A Tuesday. Anytime you have player meetings on anything off the field, any of that, do it on a Tuesday. Solved. Yeah. It's hard to know. It's hard to say what his impact could have. We haven't seen. I don't know what he's capable of. I mean,
and this is a big day. Wednesday is a big day of practice, and that's why to me it's almost like the NFL is trying to make it even harder for him to play this week, which I don't understand. Have him come there on Monday or Tuesday. There's no practice on Monday or Tuesday. There's no reason that he needs to be there on Wednesday. This was taken care of. This was signed on Saturday.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't.
Monday or Tuesday, either day. You're right. You could do it on either day, and then it's done, and make a decision, and you live with it, and that's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be strung out like this, the way that it is. I think you're right. It kind of makes it feels like it's almost like he's out week 1, he's going to be out week 2 type thing. Not to say that he will be, but it's really hard for him to get up to speed. He hasn't been here. He didn't sign until Saturday.
No, that's why it just seems it. There's a lot about the way I love. Obviously, the NFL is the best thing going. I absolutely love it. There is just something odd and about the way that they go about their discipline in terms of how long it takes.
Yeah.
But then they can resolve this Carter thing in a second. Just all of it be quick. I would be quick, and I would err on the side of not doing anything in the event that there's no criminal charges and no settlement.
Yeah.
I think you can take, for a league's perspective, because it's, a private, your people are working for them and signing, the contracts to work for them and abiding by their rules and policies, that you can say a settlement is, and we will interpret that as some degree of an admission of guilt in the situation, and thus you'll be punished. But if there's no settlement and there are no criminal charges, there doesn't need to be anything.
I agree. I agree with you on that. I absolutely do. And just get it done. Be more streamlined. This stuff shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't be floating out over operations the way that it is. The Browns also signed K.J. Henry to the practice squad. 3rd NFL season out of Clemson, originally a 5th-round pick by Washington. 14 games with the Commies, the Bengals, and the Cowboys. 22 career tackles, 2.5 sacks. Spent time with the Browns this preseason. He's going to wear number 58. Scheduled today, practice 1:45. Should wrap here probably in the last couple of minutes or so. All players on the field and accounted for, including Jack Conklin. So that's very good news on that side of things. He left the game with an eye issue over the weekend. From Baltimore's side of thing, Jeff's Rebeck, Patrick Ricard not practicing, Isaiah Likely not practicing, and Matabuke not practicing as well. So there is the issue on that side of things in Baltimore. We will meet the Ravens coming up next. I should also tell you, those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Still ahead, 4 downs of college football with College Football Nate and yours truly. You will hear from Z one-on-one with Greg Newsome. He'll attempt to guess the scores. You have that to look forward to. But coming up next, we will meet the Baltimore Ravens. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. We got something exciting here. Play the Ohio Lottery's new $5 Win Big Scratch Up for a chance to win $100,000. If you don't win, just scan that ticket for a second chance to win big. Enter the Big Game second chance promotion to win great football prizes, including Cleveland game tickets, even tickets to the biggest football game of the year. If football is your passion, Win Big is your game. Only from the Ohio Lottery. Lottery players subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Go to your favorite Ohio Lottery retailer today. Get your hands on a brand new $5 scratch off. It's called Win Big. And if you don't win the $100,000, you can enter to win game tickets and other prizes. Get yours today at your favorite Ohio Lottery retailer. And remember, play responsibly. It is time now to meet the Baltimore Ravens. They are 0-1 on the season. They are coached by John Harbaugh. He is in his 18th year, the second longest tenured coach behind Mike Tomlin in the National Football League. He is a robust 172 and 105 all time. The Ravens lead the series 37-15. Last time out, Ravens won in Baltimore in January 35-10. Last game for them, a loss at Buffalo on Sunday night. Another late game collapse from the Ravens. One player to weigh in on that was Kyle Hamilton. Let's have a listen.
I wish I knew. I don't know. We is kind of banging our heads on the wall with it at this point. I mean, first and foremost, the offense puts up 40 points. No way that we should even be in that position as a defense. I don't know. We just got to figure out how to win games. I mean, we're winning them for 45 minutes. Got to win them for 60 minutes. So, new week next week, we'll get it fixed and try to be 1-1.
And for more on the Baltimore Ravens, we turn it over to Dr. Z.
Listen, this is a team that many people think will win the Super Bowl. I mentioned it. They had 9 Pro Bowlers a year ago. They went out. They said, our secondary wasn't good enough. They brought in Jair Alexander. They brought in, I remember him, Chidobe Awuzie, who had been with the Bengals for a while, drafted by Dallas originally. I loved him coming out of Colorado back in 2017. He was one of those guys that I really liked. They brought him in as well. Nate Wiggins is their first rounder a year ago. Marlon Humphrey's a first rounder. Kyle Hamilton's a first rounder. Malachi Starks is a first rounder. So if you look at their secondary, okay, their top 4 corners are 3 first rounders and a second rounder. Their top 2 safeties are both first rounders. I mean, it's unbelievable how many first-round players are on this team, first or second-round players on this team that are dominant. They got Pro Bowlers at all 3 levels. Linebacker Roquan Smith's got 4 straight seasons with 150 or more tackles. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro. Up front, they've got Nnamdi Madubuike, who 2 years ago had 13 sacks. He's got 19 and a half sacks the last 2 seasons. He's been a Pro Bowler back both of the last 2 years as well. They've addressed, through the draft, they've tried. They got Odafe Owe, their first-round pick in 21. David Ojabo was a second-round pick in 22. Mike Green was their second-round pick this year, who led the FBS with 17 sacks at Marshall a year ago. So they make investments all over the place, and quite often they hit on those. This is a loaded team. Now the defense, with all of those accolades, all the things I just said, right now they're 32nd in the NFL. Now they were number 1 in the NFL down the stretch last year, and they think that they are better than they were a year ago. So you think about how bad they were in week 1, weeks 11 to 18 last year. Number 1 scoring defense, number 1 total yards defense, number 1 passing defense, number 1 third down defense. That's what they were from week 11 to 18. So you think about that, and then you say, on offense, they're absolutely loaded. They've got a solid offensive line, multiple Pro Bowlers on the offensive line. They've got a former 3-time Pro Bowler tight end in Mark Andrews. They've got a Pro Bowl fullback in Patrick Ricard. They've got the ageless wonder Pro Bowler Derrick Henry, who leads the NFL in rushing yards, total yards, and total touchdowns after the first week, coming off a season last year in which he averaged 6 yards a carry, ran for 1,921 yards and a career-high 16 touchdowns. They've got Lamar Jackson, who's a 2-time MVP, really had probably the best season a quarterback's ever had, led the league in yards per attempt at 8.8, threw for 4,172 yards, career high, 41 touchdowns, only 4 picks, led the league with 119.6 rating, ran for another 915 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nobody had ever thrown for 4,000 yards and 800 yards rushing. He did 4,100 and 900. That's over 5,000 yards of offense. And he produced 41 passing touchdowns, 4 picks, ran for another 4 touchdowns. There are only 2 people in the league since the start of last year who have averaged 6 yards a carry or more on design runs, so not including scrambles. Yeah. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, they're on the same team. Here's a crazy stat I came across in the prep for this. Most rushing yards per game against a divisional opponent since 2018.
Okay.
Ravens against the Browns is number 1, 169.6.
Okay.
Ravens against the Bengals is number 2, 166.5. Titans versus Texans is 3, 158.9. Titans versus Jags is 4, 158.5. Ravens versus Steelers, 155.6. So Derrick Henry is
All of it.
he's been a part of, at some level, all of that.
Do you remember him in the process?
In the draft
out?
process?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't. That was 2016. Went in the second round. There was a lot of talk, though, at that point that because he came after, like, who were some of those big guys that came out of there?
So he was in the shadows of Trent Richardson.
Trent Richardson
was in the mix. Lacey.
Eddie Lacy.
Eddie Lacy was
Was
probably
there a Marcel
right before
Reese?
him.
I don't know if he went to Alabama, but like another bigger back like that. But yeah, those two, Richardson, Eddie, and people thought he was
Bo
stiff
Scarborough from the G-Man.
Was he
Stiff.
before it too?
and stiff and upright and wasn't going to be a good running back. Yeah.
Right. Rushing leaders. This was when Saban was there, so it went Mark Ingram into Trent Richardson, into Eddie Lacy, into T.J. Yeldon. Yeldon was the other one. So it went Lacy, Yeldon back to back, and neither one of those guys were special. And so it was like, well, I don't. And obviously Trent didn't work out, so it was like, what? Maybe these Bama backs. It's a
too
product of
easy
the
for
system.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, after him, it's Damian Harris, led him in rushing for 3 years, Najee for 2, and Najee didn't pop in the league.
No.
I mean, despite being a first-round pick, he's classic under 4 yards a carry. Then Brian Robinson in 2021 led him, and then Jahmyr Gibbs in 2022. But it's like, it's interesting. And then the thing that's crazy about Henry is nobody knew how to evaluate him. One of the craziest things about Derrick Henry is, so Ohio State beat them in the national semifinal in 2014 down in New Orleans. And, like, Lane Kiffin forgot Derrick Henry was on the team.
Yeah.
Like, they almost just forgot. They just kept slinging it. And it was like you had Derrick Henry on that team in 2014.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, no, he's the fact that he's still this good at this age, there's not a whole lot. It's like an Adrian Peterson. There's just aren't many guys who can still do it. And I think all of us thought he was towards the back end of it, and then he goes to the perfect situation. Everybody assumed he was going to go to Dallas. We all did when he became a free agent. Then he landed in Baltimore, and you go, good Lord, of all places, not there.
Yeah, but the weird thing was, if you remember back to that time, and this I remember, it felt like he was cooked. Not cooked, but that he was
I just said that. Like, he was trending down.
down. So his last year in Tennessee, he runs for his yards per carry was 4.2, which was the lowest of his career, 1,167 yards. It just felt like he was trending down, and he's coming off of 4 of the 5 years prior to last year, leading the NFL in attempts.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
You can't keep doing it.
he's turning 30.
Yeah.
He's got all the tread on his tires. You can't do it. He is in the league right now. He is the active leader in rushing attempts, 2,373, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and then yards from scrimmage and total touchdowns. He leads the NFL in amongst active players. I saw some other crazy stat that Todd Gurley is still, like, since 2020, like top 5 in rushing touchdowns or something in the NFL.
He had a couple of massive seasons.
It couldn't be since
the Rams.
2020. It's
He
got to
did
be
get
since like
paid, too,
2017.
2015 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's it. He's just it's crazy that he's still at this. The Ohio State stat line from that national semifinal game, he had 13 carries for 95 yards, 7.3 a tote, and they just stopped giving him the ball.
It's nuts.
I've talked to folks at Ohio State, they're like, thank God. It's like they forgot he was on the team because we weren't tackling him.
Well, and what he's done is, when you think, I just mentioned Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Gurley's has back-to-back seasons in 17 and 18 where he is basically 2,000 yards and 20 total touchdowns. First team All-Pro, all of that. He's out of the league 2 years later.
Yeah.
You look at Terrell Davis, you look at Priest Holmes. Guys
It doesn't last. It doesn't work.
And we don't even talk about it anymore. We don't even talk about how incredible what he is doing is. But it is, I mean, they averaged 6 yards a carry last year was just, it's ludicrous. Since he's been a Raven, in 18 games in the regular season. 2,090 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6.1 yards per attempt. He averages 116 rushing yards per game as a Baltimore Raven on 19 carries.
Jeez. And folks, he's been doing this since high school. His high school stats are like Cy Young's win total. Like, it doesn't even make sense. He had like 4,500 yard rushing as a high school senior. And you go, wait, hold on. As a senior, not in his career? No. 1 year. Yeah, he's been doing this forever. And the reason he's at Bama is because they were the only ones who would give him a chance to play running back. Everybody else wanted him to play D-end. And he wanted to be a running back. Golly. By the way, he probably would have been a crazy D-end had he just done that.
Yeah.
But probably would have been more lucrative, for sure, had he just done that. But he's a hell of a running back, and they're an absolute handful on offense.
They are. This is just a dominant football team, but they are beatable, right? I mean, we saw it. We saw it from the Buffalo Bills. The Browns have actually had some success against this team. The Browns, against the Baltimore Ravens, they've won 4 of the last 7 games.
Yep.
So let's do it. Let's go out there. We've had success in their building. We beat them there in 2023. We've split, I think, the last 3 seasons. Here's a crazy thing that I found I almost blew my mind when I read it, but it is true. Because we didn't win in week 1 until the Cade York in Carolina. Right? We hadn't won at week 1 for like forever.
Yeah.
The Browns last started 0-2 in 2017. The Browns are one of 2 AFC teams to not have an 0-2 start since 2018. The other, the Kansas City Chiefs, who have won 3 Super Bowls during that span.
Those are the only 2, us and them,
yeah,
that have not had 0-2 starts. And we're both staring down the barrel.
Now, the Ravens were 0-2 last year to start and finished 12-3 in their final 15 games. One of 4 teams since 2000 start 0-2 and finished with 12 or more wins. Lamar Jackson is 19-4 following a loss, tied with Patrick Mahomes for the best win-loss after win-loss record following a loss since 1970. Harbaugh's got the 3rd best winning percentage of all time of any coach following a loss in his career. Number 1's Don Shula, number 2 Marty Schottenheimer, then Harbaugh, then Tony Dungy, then Sean Payton.
Yeah. It's a loaded roster.
They're good.
They're really good. They really are.
Now, one thing they don't have, if there's one thing you'd say they don't have that is a surprise with everything else that we go through where they seem to be loaded in every way at every possible position, they don't have a dominant pass rush. Van Noy was good. They've kind of brought in a random veteran, whether it was Clowney. They brought back Van Noy. They haven't really hit on their early picks. Adafe Owe hasn't hit. Ojabu, who I thought was going to be awesome. You always just wonder what would he have been had he not exploded his leg on at his pro day. They don't have a dominant pass rush. Matabike is their best pass rusher. He had the 13 sacks in 2023. But in week 1 against the Bills, who threw the ball a lot, they had just a 25% pressure rate, which was bottom 5 in the NFL. So if there is an Achilles heel right now, or one place that they're not as loaded as they seem to be everywhere else, that's where it is.
Well, Kyle Van Noy is literally talking to the Baltimore media right now. So they were on the field from 1 to 3 in an open locker room right now. Van Noy said the defense had a dinner last night following the tough loss to the Bills. Van Noy declined to go into specifics, but said things were talked about. We need to turn the page.
Yeah.
You're having player meetings after week 1. I like it.
Well, I tell you, and I went to sleep because they're up. It's 40-25. I'm like, I don't need to stay up. They're the Ravens. They'll just run the ball.
At no point did I think the Bills were ever going to be able to. They were just going to go score for score.
No, and I can't tell you like the body language of Baltimore, like what led to that comeback all happening. Obviously, the Henry fumble is a massive part of it, but it's like how they were able to flip that is a pretty remarkable thing because they were buried, and it's
under 4 minutes to go.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
never happened before.
No, 277-0, dog. Teams with that much rushing yards and that type of lead, it's
unprecedented.
There's no
without
precedent.
No precedent.
There's none for it, man. I'll tell you what, though, like Buffalo threw it all over their defense. 394 from Allen in this game, 33 of 46. Everybody was involved. All the receivers ate. They threw it out of the backfield with Cook. Kincaid was good. I mean, he spun it to everybody in this one. So there's an opportunity there to maybe make a little hay. And as you saw last week with Fannin, And really, Cheap wasn't involved that much because Fannin was so involved in all of it. But you still have those two. Isaiah Bond with a bigger role. Who knows? We'll see. And we'll see exactly how this thing all goes down by the time we get to Sunday over there. All right, there you are, meeting the Ravens. We'll play a little 4 Downs with college football coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. It's presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Do you have that Ryan Day clip ready?
Yeah, I got it ready.
Okay. 1 second.
Okay.
No. Yep.
You're up.
Score big with Howard Hanna, official real estate partner of your Cleveland Browns at Northeast Ohio's #1 real estate provider. We're dedicated to helping you make the best move. Visit howardhanna.com/GoBrowns to explore your winning options today. Time for 4 downs of college football with College Football Nate and Uncle Bo. Hello, Gibby.
Hi. Let's go right to it. Hit it there, Carmen.
First down.
First down, thing or not a thing. First and foremost, here's Ryan Day, Ohio State football coach, on the proposed January transfer window for college football.
Are you a fan, by the way, of the proposed change in the transfer portal to one-time January? Where do you stand on that?
Yeah, I no. I don't think it's a good idea at all. In the conversations that we had with the Big Ten coaches, I think the majority of them agree. I just don't quite understand how, for teams that are playing in the playoffs are expected to, make the decisions and sign their upcoming players while they're still getting ready to play for games. It doesn't make any sense to me. I know the calendar is funky, but, I know that the Big Ten and Tony Petitti's been working hard because he doesn't believe it either, and neither do the coaches in the Big Ten. We had a lot of long discussions about that and tried to work through the different windows, but I don't agree with it being in January.
Thing or not a thing, the NCAA needs to go back and redo this.
Well, so it's the enforcement arm of college football, which all right, I don't want Pandora's box open, but I just want to crack it for just a second.
Giddy up.
There is no way that college athletics can enforce the rules that they do have, let alone the ones that they don't. Right now, there is nothing. For example, there's NIL. There's supposed to be an NIL clearinghouse. They've approved like half the stuff that's been sent to them. So it's an utter mess completely. College football Nate's grinding film, so he doesn't have time for the minutia of the bureaucracy of college sports necessarily.
True.
So let me just give you
the film was silent.
Let me just give you the 2 options for Ryan Day. The reason they did this January one that they're trying to ramrod through, is because they don't want it to be for 45 days in December so that it eats up while they're doing the playoff and National Signing Day and the bowls and all of that. College football, Nate.
Why can't it just open the day after the national championship?
It's a great
question. Because they're trying to continue to have the facade of academia. So the national championship game is January 27th. You can't enroll.
You've started a new semester.
In the middle of a semester. You can't leave at that point and be eligible for spring football. So it's the facade of academics that force this absurd calendar.
Stop it.
Of course, stop it. It's ridiculous.
Open it then. These kids are going to be just fine.
Here's really the 2 solutions as I see it. You can either, and this is what I think that they should do right away, move the entire college football back 2 weeks. So start the season, which is now currently week 0. So like middle of August, start the season. Have the Ohio State-Michigan game the week before Thanksgiving. The week of Thanksgiving is the Army-Navy game, hand out the Heisman, all of that weekend of Thanksgiving. Start the playoff the next week.
Why take
and have
the whole month
playoff?
off? Yeah.
Have the playoff done by January 1st or the Monday after the 1st.
And then
open it. That's what I would do. Or you can open it as soon as you're in the new calendar year. The teams playing in the national. It's only 2 teams playing in the national championship.
Correct.
And it's 4 teams playing in the college football playoff. So if you're just doing semifinals,
you're
that solves it.
You're not transferring out in
Absolutely.
the portal if you're playing in one of those 2 teams.
No, of course not. Now, Penn State did lose their backup quarterback last year because he had to go in December, Bo Prabula, who looks really good at Missouri right now. So that did happen to them. So that's what Ryan's concerned about. So you can either move that. The other thing you can do, and this would cause college football coaches they're not going to be a fan of this, but this would also solve it. Do one transfer portal after spring semester. And just say after spring football, you can transfer wherever you want. Now, the coaches don't want that because they want guys on campus for spring football. But you can't have everything you want in this world. If you're going to be beholden to academic calendar, then you got to pick one way or the other. And right now, this does nothing other than make it more difficult.
Next.
Second down.
Rank the 3 best games going on in college football this weekend. Georgia, Tennessee, South Florida, and Miami, and Texas A&M, Notre Dame.
College football, Nate's got to jump in real quick here.
It's about time, dude.
Well, he's a film grinder.
I don't want to. I
grinding
don't
film.
want to hear this. We're in the middle of a show.
Doesn't have
Grind
to worry
later.
about bureaucracy.
I need to know
There's
what.
no reason that week 1 of the college football season
Yeah.
had 6 marquee games, and week 2 had maybe 1, Michigan, Oklahoma.
couple. Yeah, at most.
Spread it out. There was nothing to watch. College football-wise, there wasn't a single real game until night. That's a joke.
So when you say they're doing this for no reason, so the reason they did it, which buttresses my point about ending this whole season by December, is they basically punted on week 2 because they stayed out of the NFL's way. Now, the NFL doesn't play on Saturday.
They don't play on Saturday.
Right, but they put all of those bangers in week 1, so all of the powerhouse teams played weak sauce week 2 because they played the bangers week 1, and then the SEC
Just
starts
spread it
conference
out.
play this week.
Doesn't hurt
So
you to have
just-
3
I'm
or
with
4
you.
bangers a week.
I'm with you, but that's why that happened.
It's still too
That
much.
happened.
It was overkill.
I think there was also
there were multiple bangers at certain viewing windows.
Am I missing a game?
no. You're talking about in week 2. Your week 3 is pretty decent. I was trying to think if there was anything else from week 2 that, when it was scheduled, looked more appealing than it was. I suppose Oklahoma State, Oregon. You're right though. There wasn't much. It was Arizona State, Mississippi State. It wasn't. There wasn't really anything other than Michigan, Oklahoma. There was a couple
Camp
regional ones.
Scadaboo's not even there anymore.
No, Iowa State, Iowa, Baylor, SMU. Like that's not enough. That's not enough.
No.
You're right. It's a good point out of college football, Nate. Good job out of you.
I mean, listen, I was there with Pedro.
Yeah, and we were just looking for anything.
We're just looking for, and there's like,
No, you were looking for any.
there's
Anything
nothing
to watch.
It was like San Jose State was playing real people.
Playing Texas. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't great.
South
It
Florida
was not
beating
great.
Florida.
Yeah,
Clemson should have lost.
they weren't great.
They should be 0-2.
All right, these 3.
Yeah, those are the 3. Those are ranked versus ranked.
Yep. So
Yeah, Georgia's 6, Tennessee's 15.
sure, Tennessee moved up 7 spots in the AP by beating East Tennessee State. They moved up 7 spots.
Congratulations.
Give me the USF Miami rankings.
18 versus 5.
And USF just beat
Florida.
USF beat
Florida.
ranked Boise State 2 weeks ago, and then they beat ranked Florida
Yeah.
last week.
And then 16, Texas A&M versus number 8, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, who had a bye week last week.
All right,
0-1
I'm ready.
Notre Dame.
I've got USF Florida. USF intrigues me. The U is always fun, must watch. That's 1. Georgia Tennessee, big time SEC games 2, and Texas A&M Notre Dame's 3 for me.
I would go Texas A&M Notre Dame number 1. Notre Dame played in the final last year. C.J. Carr looked pretty good in the loss to Miami. I'm curious what they look like at home against an A&M team that's got a lot of NFL talent. I would go USF Miami number 2, Georgia Tennessee number 3. I just don't believe necessarily in Tennessee yet. That one will have the coolest atmosphere though. Like that'll be. Although Notre Dame will be pretty great too. I think
Maybe
Tennessee
Notre Dame should have
Georgia's
played Ohio
3:30.
State last week instead. I know that Ohio State shouldn't schedule. You got to get a couple cupcakes in.
Yeah, they had to. So
But-
they got Ohio this week, Grambling.
Not awful.
No, they beat West Virginia.
Yeah.
And they damn near beat Rutgers in week 1. So that should be a frisky game. And it's at night, so that'll be fun.
Next.
3rd down.
Fact or fiction, Clemson is still the best team in the ACC. College football, Nate.
Fiction, they stink.
He's right.
Take that, Will Scarlett.
They're terrible. Here's the other thing.
They are horrible.
I'm done with this. I'm done with this idea that you've got good school playing cupcake games, jabroni games. This is what the college football Nate's going to do. We're going to get the best 32 teams in the country, and we're going to make a super conference out of them, and they're going to play each other exclusively. 64 is fine. I was going to even go 40-something. Fine. That's it.
Premier League.
Everybody else
Premier
plays in
League
their
of college
own stuff.
football.
And I like that. And every year, great, we'll build right off that in real time. 48, the bottom 8 relegated. New 8 in. You get to earn it. If you come up, you come in. And it's just like that. You get more TV money, you get more all of this. It's worth money. That's the way you got to do it.
That's
this is
common
nonsense.
sense. It's common sense.
This is nonsense.
The problem is there are way too many selfish individuals that won't work together in that sport. All it would take is Greg Sankey, the SEC, and Tony Petitti, the Big Ten, to say, all right, we're doing our thing. You get your 32, I'll get my 32. By the way, you're going to throw out some of these Big Ten teams.
Do you think there are really 64 that you want in there?
I think because I don't yes, I do. From the standpoint of, I think there's 64 teams that I could come up with. I'd have to write it down to see if I could get to that many. But I don't think it has to be the NFL. I don't think it has to be every one of the 64 can win the Super Bowl. I just because you need to have a couple of games
It's
that
not
are
even the NFL, but yes.
No, I understand it's double, but there's also
No,
that
I'm
many
saying
more
that not
teams.
every team in the NFL.
No,
can win the Super Bowl.
yeah, that too. But like, there needs to be. College football has never had. It's always had a caste system, always, and I don't know that you're ever going to get to it. Even because honestly, even the 32 number, the 32nd team is not going to approach things the way Ohio State does.
Well, that's the problem with college football is that
But
you have
there's no way to fix that.
Superpowers,
that part of it. Yeah,
and they're all going to always be superpowers because that's the one thing about the NFL, in that if you hit on something or you make some good moves, have good draft classes, all of a sudden you can turn it around, get the right quarterback.
Yeah, but college football is much more like soccer in that if you go to Iowa, you don't have delusions of grandeur that you're going to win a national title. What matters to you is that can I beat Iowa State? Do I beat Wisconsin? Do I beat Minnesota? That's a successful year.
Yeah.
So it's much more like European soccer, that mentality. It's not like a pro-American mentality of, if we can't compete for a championship, why are we even doing this?
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And I'm fine with that. I just think that you can,
basically, this sport,
the schedule,
unbeknownst and despite itself, became the second most popular sport in this country
by a
100
wide
miles,
margin.
and it's not close anymore.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, it's undervalued as a television entity. It's not given the money that it deserves based on the ratings that it gets. It's crazy. I mean, the
That's why I just think
NBA
it
makes
should
$140
be-
million a team from their national deal.
Right, and that's why it would
crazy.
be worth it. And you'd go 64. Here's what every team gets from revenue, and if you finish in the top 8, you get this. If you finish in the middle, call it, or top 16, you get this. If you're in the middle 32, you get this, and if you're in the bottom 16, you get that. Bottom 8 out, new 8 in. They
Away we
get
go.
to share that money, and you go. And all games are just played by those teams in that group.
In the group,
only.
don't play. And by the way, that would allow the Bowling Greens. I've long said this because growing up right in Montana, I see the buy-in that the fan bases have in Montana State, because their teams can compete for championships. And it's one thing that the MAC teams don't have. Like, what do you compete for? The ability to play in Detroit in a bowl game? Like, that ain't it.
Yeah.
That ain't it. Like, if Ohio and Bowling Green and Toledo could compete for, like, their own national title for teams that were of their ilk, you'd get the interest back. You'd fill those stadiums.
Yeah.
Agreed. Fourth
That's
down.
a powerhouse. Job out of
Fourth down.
If you needed one quarterback to win you a road game against a ranked opponent right now, are you taking Arch Manning or Bryce Underwood? Tell
Julian
you what, Mel
Sain.
Kiper this morning on ESPN.
That's what I'm taking.
What's
I
that?
take two.
I'm taking Julian Sain.
I take the kid in Columbus.
That's not an
of those
option,
two.
and it was left off purposely.
Here's the thing. I don't understand. And I can't say that college football Nate watched all of the Michigan-Oklahoma game, but I did watch some of it. What's the point of getting the number one quarterback if you're not going to let him throw?
No, they didn't. They just ran it. It's like they were trying to protect him. And I think he's much better than even they know.
Just let him play.
Let him play. Let him eat.
So I don't know. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
I
would
do
take
think
Arch.
there are.
I think he's hurt.
I would probably go Underwood based on what I've seen through 2 weeks. Arch, even in the win against UTEP, didn't look right. I know they've talked about his health and all this stuff, and Sark put cold water on it, but he just didn't look right throwing the football to me.
Mel Kiper this morning on one of the ESPN programs,
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was radio or Get Up because I can
Yeah.
go between both on Sirius XM, literally said, he goes, I'm not sure that Arch Manning's the best quarterback on the Texas squad right now. So maybe we should put some cold water on the NFL career.
Yeah, he doesn't look right to me.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Do you want to do who's on your Heisman shortlist as a bonus?
Go ahead.
You got anybody?
Yeah.
Who's on your
Johnny
Heisman
Mateer.
shortlist?
Johnny Mateer should be leading it, the
From
quarterback.
Oklahoma.
Jabba to you. I would have Caleb Downs on a short list through 2 weeks based on what he's done. The Nussmeier kid at LSU, a little bit of attention there. Carson Beck, if he can keep it rolling, a little bit of attention there. Those are some ones to watch out for. I think they'll get Jeremiah Smith going down in Columbus. Penn State's off to a slow start, so something to watch for there. But Mateer would be the leader right now.
That is 4 downs.
That's great.
Mateer's got a little moxie.
Oh, he's got a little bit like 6.
Yes.
Carries himself like 6 a lot. A lot of parallels to 6 at OU for sure. That was a powerhouse. That was a meat sandwich of college football, 4 downs right there, kids. You want to know what's happening in the sport, that you just got it right there. On the other side of this quick timeout, Z sits down with Greg Newsome. You have that to look forward to, which is very, very nice. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Very happy to be joined by Browns cornerback Greg Newsome. And Greg, understand that the goal was not achieved, which is to win that game against the Bengals. But from a defensive perspective, what do you think you guys went out there and showed?
Yeah, especially in that second half. I think we showed the marks of an elite defense. We talked about it with Coach Schwartz, like that first drive, that first half. We didn't play our best football, and I think coming into that second half, we played a dominant style of football.
Were there adjustments? Everybody talks, halftime adjustments. I know there's no time at halftime to really have halftime adjustments, but what were some of the things that changed maybe from the first half where they were able to move the ball to the second half where they gained 7 yards, fourth quarter negative 23 yards? You guys completely neutralized the best passing offense in the NFL.
Yeah, no adjustments, just mindset-wise, just come out there and attack. Our game plan going into that, we were going to play man-to-man coverage, leave the safety in the middle of the field, and the corners have to win. And I think we did a really good job at that. The second half adjustments were just do our job at an elite level, and I think we did that in the second half.
2 passes defense for you. A lot of times you were one-on-one with Jamar Chase. Last year won the Triple Crown. You certainly got the better of it in this game. How big is that for just your confidence? Not that you'd ever lacked confidence, but to say, okay, now I know what my role is this year. I'm playing outside. I can be locked into that. You go against the very best week 1 and, quite frankly, had an outstanding showing.
Yeah, no, it's just I'm just blessed, man. The opportunity to get out there, be healthy all throughout training camp, and like we said going into the week, man, like we know what we have in that cornerback room with Ward, me, Miles, Cam, and all in from the bottom to the top. And my goal and my job is to eliminate catches on the outside. So I think I had a good week 1.
So they ran that one vertical against you. It was a perfect ball from Burrow on the back shoulder. You're able to get there at the last second. That's got to be one where they feel like they did everything right, and yet they still didn't get the result they wanted.
Nah, for sure. I was looking up and back for it, hoping that he put it a little more inside so I can go get it. But when I seen it back shoulder, I just tried to throw my hand in there as best as I can, and now I'm super excited about that play for sure.
Don't mind starting from the top. Sorry, fellas, but I think your mic is on for some reason.
I'll bet.
Oh, man.
You're rolling.
All right, little technical difficulties
That's
there.
right. We're working through it.
We're working through it. All right, I don't have my earphones are over there, so I can't hear you, Give if you talk to me, but that's okay.
We're working through it.
The technical difficulties?
Yeah, we're just working through it.
Okay, all right. If we go back to that, we'll go back to that. Do you want me to would you like me to filibuster right now?
Maybe.
Do you want to do guess the lines?
We might be able to do a guess the scores. Why don't we go to break, and then we'll come back, and we'll do guess
All right,
the
what we're
scores.
going to do here is we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to regroup. We're going to get it together, and then we'll be back with more Cleveland Browns Daily brought to you by Bally Bet. Celebrate 40 years of the Dog Pound with us on September the 21st at Huntington Bank Field when your Cleveland Browns face off against the Green Bay Packers. Experience every down, every drive, and every highlight live. Grab your tickets now at browns.com/Packers. All right, we're going to get the rest of that Greg Newsome interview with you. Take it away.
Do what I love to do, which is be on the island. I mean, I think we had a great week one. I haven't played football since November, a game, so it felt so good to get back out there with the guys and just do my job at an elite level.
Did you guys have any back and forth, you and Jamar? Because he had to get frustrated as that game went. Joe Burrow on TV was visibly frustrated.
Yeah, we definitely had back and forth. Like every single game, I'm definitely going to talk to him, and we talk back and forth for sure.
What was the discussion after when they threw a night? He had a good route, good ball from Joe Burrow, better coverage right there. You're able to get that left hand and knock it away on that kind of back shoulder fade.
Yeah, really all I told him wasn't too much banter. I just told him I'm on the right side of the field all game, so come see.
Come see me, and you did. You saw that. I don't know, did you hear what Joe Burrow said after the game?
I just seen it yesterday, yeah.
That's you and Denzel, the best corner tandem in the NFL, and that is from a guy who can throw the ball. Last year led the league in passing touchdowns, all of it. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, man, it's just the utmost respect. Like I have respect for all those guys, Jamar, T, Joe, like I said, he's arguably the best passer of the football in the total NFL. So for him to give us our credit definitely means a lot. But, it's just week one. Like we got to continue to stack days. And, we don't get too high about compliments like that. Like obviously we respect it and we like hearing things like that. But we got to put it on tape every single week.
You mentioned the D-line earlier. 3 straight plays, 3 straight sacks. They started their 20, they ended up punting from their 1. And really, as the game went on, felt like Miles kicked it into a completely different gear. 4 tackles for lost, 2 sacks. As you're kind of watching that unfold, what was kind of going through your mind, and how much easier does that make your job?
Yeah, when I was watching it, the first one, the second one, then the third one, the first 2, I was just like, there goes the best player in the world. Like, that's what we were waiting for. I told him before that drive, actually, I was like, hey, it's time. And, hey, he went into Superman mode and disrupted the entire game. And then even on the last sack with anyone really could have got it. Mason had great pressure.
Got it, yep.
Miles had great pressure, and then obviously Zay ended up getting the sack. But for our D-line to show up like that late in the game, like that's gonna help us win a lot of games.
There's no doubt about it. And I want to go back to one that was not a sack, but I'm sure you've seen the clip of Miles looping around to the inside. And you talked about the respect Joe Burrow had for you. I respect that fact. He stood in there. Now, Jamar Chase was a foot out. You guys pushed him out of bounds to force the incompletion.
Yeah.
But he actually completed that pass down the field from the far hash and then got destroyed.
Yeah, like when I watched it on tape, it was crazy because obviously I made the play, so I didn't see what happened inside.
He got him right out of bounds. Said, I'm going to escort you right out of bounds here. In college, that would have been a real nice play, not in the National Football
League. For sure.
League.
And then I seen the actual play, and I was like, the fact that he actually got that off and put it in that position while getting hit by Myles Garrett is very impressive.
Could you imagine, though, we talk about, what quarterbacks in the NFL deal with. He has to see that. And Myles is coming. Myles is a huge man, full speed, unblocked, and he knows this is not going to be enjoyable.
Nah, yeah, for sure. Any quarterback that got to go against Myles Garrett feel bad for him for sure. For him to sit in there anyways and make the throw just shows how tough that guy really is.
Yeah, and how in your mind on that one, that's one of the things when you get a guy in the air, you want to just usher him out. There was a long time ago in the NFL, they would have said, oh, well, if he wasn't carried out of bounds, he would have got 2 feet in. It's a good rule change. They make it hard enough on you guys on the defense as it is. But what's kind of your mentality in those situations when it's on the sideline and you want to make sure, obviously, they can't get both feet down?
Yeah, so initially after he broke, I was going for the pick. I was about to undercut and go for the pick. When I seen the ball was still traveling outside, I was like, wow, this is an incredible ball. So when I seen he had got his 2 feet up, it was second nature. Like, just get him out of bounds and keep going.
Yeah, played a great game there. We talked about at the beginning, obviously not the result the team wanted. How do you guys kind of bounce back? What's been the mentality you've seen from the guys where you have a game that, quite frankly, we should have won? We did not for a variety of reasons. What's kind of the mentality coming out of that game and obviously with a big test again this Sunday?
Yeah, the mentality is don't beat ourselves. Like, that's the biggest thing we talk about all the time. If we don't beat ourselves, we'll win a lot of football games. So I think this week is just focus on, once again, doing our job at a very elite level. If your corners cover, linebackers clean stuff up, D-line attack, receivers, catch the ball, quarterbacks keep the ball safe, running backs run the ball, O-line block. Like, we're going to just hone down to the nitty-gritty things and just do that. Just don't beat ourselves.
All right. mentioned in our division, sometimes it just doesn't get easier. Like, oh, yeah, we did a great job against Joe. Well, here comes Lamar Jackson, the two-time MVP, a phenomenal week one. They lose a game that they're probably feeling like they shouldn't have lost as well to Buffalo and what's an early candidate for the game of the year. What challenges does he present? And, Zay Flowers led the league in receiving week one. Derrick Henry was at the top of the league in rushing. So they have a lot of weapons on that offense.
Yeah, it's crazy. You go against the best passing attack. Now you go against the best running attack. So I think both quarterbacks do things great. Kind of opposite. Like,
yes.
Lamar can throw the ball at a very elite level, but he also can run the ball at a very elite level. Then you got Derrick Henry in the backfield with receivers, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. You got D-Hop making plays out there still. So it's definitely some challenges going against an offense like this, but we'll definitely be ready.
I know that nobody shies down from anything, certainly not you, but this is a game I'm sure you're happier not necessarily in the slot with Derrick Henry running around. That's a big dude. That is a big man still who can run the football. All right, talk about going back to Baltimore.
Memories. Obviously, my first pick, letting it be a pick six, and then against a two-time MVP quarterback is amazing, especially in Baltimore. Like, obviously, it's great getting picks at home, but, like,
sure.
When you get to shush an entire community, an entire crowd, it's amazing. So I'm definitely looking forward to another game.
You guys know, obviously, as we said, it was a tough test last week. This is going to be a tough test again this week. And the preparation's got to be so different. That's one of the things that people maybe don't realize in the NFL. Now, you get this sometime in college, right? You go play the traditional teams, and all of a sudden here comes Navy, and you're preparing for a completely different offense. But this, in some ways, is a completely different offense than what you saw a week ago. So kind of walk people through the preparation, what that's like for you guys in a work week. Going from what you did last week, and you probably had a lot of focus on that in the preseason, knowing it was week one, to now this is a totally different animal.
Yeah, starting off, like, you obviously just look at the quarterback. You see their strengths. Obviously, Lamar is great with his legs, so you're going to have somebody. You got to try to keep him in that pocket as best as we can. But, just offensive-wise, like, that was a heavy passing team going against the Bengals. This week we're going to have to find a way to stop the run. Like, that's going to be the number one key. Find a way to get Derrick Henry going sideways and not straight downhill at our cornerback. So it's definitely – this is my favorite part of the week, is really game planning teams.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's one of the things that I do very well, is using the mental part of the game and being able to game plan. But it's definitely a lot, especially going from two different completely offenses. Great thing is they're in our division, and I've gone against these guys for the last 4 or 5 seasons. So they got some similarities still.
For sure. All right, and the last one. You know what this game means to the Browns, obviously, from a team standpoint, from a community standpoint. But the Ravens are, and I know you know the history, celebrating their 30th anniversary. They're bringing out the son of Art Modell, who took this football team out of Cleveland, brought it to Baltimore. There are a lot of people that are very unhappy about it. I don't know if you guys have gotten into any history lessons in there, but you don't need any extra motivation. But if there ever was a week for a little extra motivation for those fans out there, this one and what they are doing and the ceremony they are putting on has got people up in arms. So hope you guys are aware of it. Spread the word in the locker room and go out there and take care of business.
Nah, for sure. We're definitely aware of it. We got you, Browns fans. We're going to take care of it for sure.
All right, Greg, thanks so much for the time. Good luck. Keep it going, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Greg Newsome coming off of a very good performance against the Cincinnati Bengals, looking to keep that going against the Ravens. Zay Flowers, the Ravens wide receiver, led the NFL 143 yards receiving in week number 1. All right, time now for a little thing we like to call Guess the Scores. Guess the lines.
We can't guess the scores.
What do you mean?
Guess the scores.
I think now you can say anything you want.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure
I don't think it's been called Guess the Scores before.
It has.
I think it's been called Guess the Spread, maybe.
No. It was called Guess the Scores.
I don't know.
I do.
I don't know.
There's a reason why it's written the way it is. By the way, from Mary Kay Cabot, doing some good research on her part. From a Ravens spokesperson on celebrating 30 years of football on Sunday when the Browns are in town. Planning for our 30th season began last year with the home opener as our official kickoff of our anniversary celebration. The plans to celebrate the 30th season were publicly released in March, prior to the announcement of the league schedule and before we knew who our home opening opponent would be. Whoever sent that, I don't believe you.
Me neither.
That's right. All right, let's play Guess the Scores. Time to guess. Week 2 in the National Football League, and we'll start it off Thursday Night Football. Commies in the land of beer and cheese taking on the Packers. First game of the year on Amazon Prime with the great Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung.
Well, that we always like. So last week, by the way, went 1-0. We're still for the first 4 weeks. We're going to keep me 1 point is the margin of error. 1 point is the margin of error.
That's fine. I'll give it to you.
Last week 1-0. We'll see. And if we get on a streak, we'll make a change. This one feels like two very good teams matched up in Green Bay. I'm going to go Packers -3. Packers -3.
-3.5.
All right.
You got it.
So that's 1 for 1. All right.
On to Sunday. No Brazil, no Friday nights, no Saturdays. Sunday football. Jaguars at Bengals. The broadcast crew is Chris Lewis, Logan Ryan, and Tiffany Blackman.
Huh.
I like Tiffany.
Yeah.
I don't
Logan
know if
Ryan,
I've ever
former
seen the other
Patriot.
two on TV.
Former Patriot.
Yeah.
Bengals were what, 5.5 against us on the road?
Yeah.
The Jags are probably not that dissimilar in Vegas. They're better in Vegas' eye, I think, than we would be. Maybe on a neutral field, it's a couple of points. So 8.5, 2, 6. I'm going to go Bengals -6.5.
Bengals -3.5.
What?
That's right.
What?
I think the Jags are a little bit. They think the Jags are a little better, obviously,
Or they think the Bengals are worse.
after their performance against us.
That's interesting. Okay.
To the NFC East, G-Men at Dallas. It's a 1 o'clock game. Joe Davis, Greg Olson, Pam Oliver on Fox.
Cowboys played tough. This feels like one that's in the middle. It's not going to quite be 7. I'm going to go Cowboys -4.5.
Cowboys -5.5.
Ooh. See, needed the full point
2 and
there.
1.
2 and 1. All right.
Also at 1 o'clock, Chicago visiting Detroit City. 0-1 versus 0-1.
Lions -7.
Lions -5.5.
Ah! Should have just gone 6.5. All right, 2 and 2.
Rough start, but that's all right.
2 and 2 is fine. We're fine. We're in range.
1 o'clock, Los Angeles, the Rams at Titans. Ian Eagle, J.J. Watt, Evan Washburn.
Rams
Titans with a tough open to their start there. They were in Denver and
Rams -6.
Rams -5.5.
Yeah, that felt right. Okay.
A big AFC East tilt. Patriots at Dolphins.
Jeez. I mean, the Dolphins were horrific. Patriots were favored week 1 at home against Vegas, but lost. Or were they in Vegas?
It was in Foxborough.
And lost. I don't know how the Dolphins are favored, but they're at home. I'm going to say Dolphins -1.5.
Right on it.
All right.
Good job by you.
All right. I would, if you had said to me the Patriots are favored, I wouldn't have been surprised at all. I really didn't have a good feel for that one.
No, I am shocked the Dolphins are favored in that game.
Okay.
49ers at Saints. Brock Purdy did not practice today, but again, it's only Wednesday.
They're calling him. Kyle Shanahan said he's a long shot. So my question to you is, does the line look like Brock Purdy is playing?
It looks like Brock Purdy's playing.
Okay. I'm going to go Niners -7.5.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe we were on different wavelengths.
So I would say without Brock Purdy, it's going to be Niners -4.
Okay. All right. This one is a wash. I will take this one out because the 49ers -4.5.
So I would say that means Brock Purdy's not playing.
Okay.
Arizona, just for context, that means they're aware of it. So I'm going to give myself that one. For context,
I'm going to take that one out.
Arizona was 6.5 in New Orleans last week. So the Niners would be viewed as better than Arizona. So if Purdy was playing, I would think it would be 7.5. So that says they know that means he's not playing. All right. So we got it. We got there.
All right. My apologies.
Oh, you're good.
I was thinking they would be favored by even more because I just think the Saints are that trash.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If Purdy was playing, it would have been over a touchdown.
Yeah. Bills at Jets. Feisty Jets. This is a Nance Romo Wolfson at 1 o'clock.
Bills.
Some heavy hitters early on.
-5.
Bills -6.5.
I almost went 5.5. But I thought it was more likely that it would be 4 than it would be 6.5. Dang it. Cap. That's a big line on the road.
That's a big, big number.
Cap.
God,
all right, 5
so
and 3.
many good
Gotta
1
stay
o'clock.
hot. You got to stay hot.
Seahawks at the Pukers.
That is a good one. Steelers -4.
Steelers -2.5.
All right, 5 and 4 now. It's getting tight.
Browns, Ravens to round out.
Ravens
the 1 o'clock.
-12.
-11.5. Yes.
Got it. All right. 6 and 4. Cruising. We're cruising. Ooh, this next
You
one's
are giving
interesting.
yourself credit for that 49er one.
Yeah, because
I was not giving it a win or a loss.
No, it's a win. Where's G-Man?
Is that a win? Sure.
Sure.
That's your answer?
Hold on a second.
I'll side with you.
I said, is Purdy playing? You said yes. So then I gave the line 7.5.
That's true.
Then when you said,
well,
we
that's
were on
why I
different
said
wavelengths, so then I said, okay, what would it be in my
I
mind?
threw that game out because I had given bad
Yeah, but that didn't give me, that wasn't bad because then you were like, actually, no, it's given that my line would have been correct. Then you said no. So then I was able to come down and get it right. I got it right on Mac Jones.
Only 3 games in the Sunday afternoon late slate. Broncos at Colts.
So this would have been, I think, prior to week 1, a much bigger number than it is right now because how good the Colts looked out and the Broncos were a little. I'm going to say Broncos -3.
Broncos -1.5.
Wow. So that is I guarantee the preseason line on that game week 2 was probably Broncos -4 or 5. Okay.
I would agree. Panthers at Cardinals. This is like when they have like the State of the Union and someone's got to stay back as like the person in case God forbid something bad happens in the world. This is the game where if the other two are in weather delay and the Colts are in a dome, so that's not going to happen. But if there was some issue, this would be the game that they would put on national TV.
Yes. I'm going to say Cardinals -6.
Cardinals what?
-6.
-6.5. You got it.
All right, good. All right, 7 and 5. Ooh.
The game that everyone will be watching after they watch Browns-Ravens. Philly at Arrowhead. Eagles, Chiefs, the Fox A team. Burkhardt, Brady, Andrews, Rinaldi.
Super Bowl rematch. Eagles -2.5.
Eagles -1.5. When was the last time the Chiefs were not favored
at home?
Game?
I don't know. That's a good one. That's a good trivia. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Sunday night foosball.
I need one more for a winning week. And
Falcons
I'm confused
at
on all these.
Vikings. Gutless or not gutless?
I'm just going to go with Vikings -3.
And you have had a winning week. Vikings -3.5.
Perfect. Okay.
I did not realize that we're back to a doubleheader on ESPN for Monday.
Yeah,
night.
for this week, yeah.
However, it's 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock on the kicks.
I like the 7 o'clock. I'll watch it. 10 o'clock I will see very little of.
Yeah. Game 1, Tampa Bay at Houston. Chris Fowler, Orlovsky, Riddick, Katie George, and Peter Schrager. I feel like the G-Man could get a spot in this one, too.
Texans -1.5.
Texans -2.5.
Got it. All right.
I mean, G-Man thinks I'm insulting him. I'm like,
no.
Everybody and their brother's on the broadcast. Why not?
Why not the G-Man?
The late game on Monday night takes us to Vegas. The Raiders hosting the Los Angeles Chargers.
Chargers -3.
-3.5.
All right, solid. All right, that's 2-0 definitively. So we might have to go back to the half point.
11 and 5.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. If you take the Niners out 10-5, we're still good. So I don't really care. We're good right there. All right, when we come back, Joe Flacco getting ready to start a game in Baltimore for the first time in his career as not a member of the Baltimore Ravens. We've got his whole podium for you, and it is awesome. That's coming up next here on Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet. The Browns head to Las Vegas this November, and you can be a part of the action through the Browns Takeovers, powered by True Fan Travel. We took over Las Vegas in 2024, and we had to go back. Head to browns.com/takeovers to book today, and you'll receive a 3-night hotel stay, opportunity to hang with Browns alumni Christian Kirksey and Kevin Mack, a ticket to the game, and an all-inclusive pregame tailgate. Visit browns.com/takeovers to learn more, and let's take over Vegas in 2025. Joe Flacco at the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience packages today for the ultimate game day. Here's the Browns quarterback on his return to Baltimore.
Are you surprised?
You're done.
Given how long it's been since you were in Baltimore, that this is the first time going back and playing a game there, and I guess like what emotions come with that for you?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I got to play him a couple years ago, but going back to Baltimore is definitely a little bit different story. It is somewhat surprising, honestly, that because I've been gone for a decent amount of time now. So, the fact that I haven't had a chance to go back is a little surprising.
We just got invited. Sorry.
Take your time. It's okay.
Joe, how do you feel about the Ravens celebrating their 30th anniversary with the Browns in town? You know the history of this franchise.
Yeah, it's funny because that is the first thing that I think about, not being from here, but I can understand how that looks. Listen, they do these things, and I think you can take it however you want. If you're from Cleveland, you can take it one way, and if you're from Baltimore, you can, it's not a big deal. It's just one of those things. Honestly, for me, it kind of makes it more exciting. We get to go in there when they're throwing, having some people back, and just more ex-players, more eyes on you. It'll make it more interesting.
But Joe, you've never gone against a defensive coordinator who's your former teammate.
I'm assuming this is the first time. I don't know if I'll ever get another opportunity. Zach, man, just super, well-liked player, awesome player. Unfortunate, that he wasn't able to have a longer career. But obviously, he's right where he wants to be. So it's pretty cool.
Just for the record, did you leave the Ravens on good terms?
I think so. We all know kind of the story there. And yeah, I have nothing but love for the people in that facility and the people in the city. I mean, for sure. It's one of those things, in the NFL, there's a business side of it, and things happen. I'm fortunate to be where I am today and be in this position, but I have nothing for love for that city and for that organization. I mean, I was a small school guy that they took a little bit of a chance on early on in the draft, and I have so many good memories with those people and that city and that stadium. So a very special place.
Is it special for you to go back there and get the ball?
Listen, it's been a while now, so you kind of just. I think I'm very capable of just seeing it as another division game. But it will be cool to go back in that stadium. I haven't had a chance to do it since I've played there. I really love playing there. It's an awesome place to play. It's an awesome venue. It's an awesome atmosphere. They do a great job. So I love playing there. So I think in that respect, it will be pretty cool to go back for sure.
So is it kind of weird that you haven't been back there? Like the schedule hasn't worked out?
Yeah.
You've been there. And what do you think the fans, how do you think they're going to react to you?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, listen, I love the fans there. And I think, I think they have, good memories of me playing football there. So, I don't think anybody's going to be crazy bad, but at the same time, they're rooting for their Ravens. So that's what you can expect.
How weird is it going to be those, you're the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, and they're going to be celebrating you in some respects because you brought them a Super Bowl?
I guess it's kind of, maybe strange from the outside in, but like I said, it's probably just not too often that you get these opportunities and there's a guy that's still playing, because usually they take a little time in between things, and it's crazy that they've been around. The Baltimore Ravens have been around for 30 years now. It's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, I think, like I said earlier, that'll kind of make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun. There'll be ex-players there with some eyes on the game, and it should make it fun.
Joe, you talk about that, about ex-players being there and the big celebration, all the hoopla that's going to be going on. Did you need any more excitement? I mean, is it just going back there? Don't you
Yeah.
think that it's going to be so?
No, you don't need any more excitement. And I honestly don't think that you're, like, as players and, like, if you're watching the game on TV, I don't really think you're going to feel that side of it. That's just something that's going to be there for the people that are in attendance, and at halftime. I mean, and I'll probably head out 10 minutes earlier to say hello to a couple guys. Got a lot of people coming to the game because it's an easy little drive down from Jersey. And a lot of people that have a lot of memories watching me play in that stadium. So I think it's kind of cool for them. For me, it is. It's another game. I got to prepare to play another football game. But I think when you look at, like, the outside of it, there's going to be some people that kind of get to have some fun with this.
Will you be able to keep your emotions in check?
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you
for
think
sure.
a lot, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, even if I'm not, you're not going to know. So, I've been criticized my whole career for not being able to show any emotion. So I think that's the last thing you have to worry about with me. So,
Joe, what can the offense do to build on what you guys did last week?
we just got to play a little bit cleaner. I think we have a lot of ability to do some really good things this year. We just got to make sure that we clean up some things and don't get in our own way.
From being with him, did you ever expect Lamar Jackson's star to rise like it has at this point?
Well, I mean, it's such a tough question to answer about anybody. But I think he was able to show pretty early on what he was capable of. I mean, he came in the year I was there and won football games, and then right away the next year got off to an awesome start. So I think he very quickly was able to show who he is, and that's a testament to the work he's put in and just the type of athlete he is.
People talk a lot about his, you mentioned athleticism, and that's the stuff that people notice because it's the standout skill. But how much has he grown as a passer and a processor of defense?
Well, I think he's a good football player. So he sees the field in a certain way. And I think when you're able to do that, then you're able to get better at things and become who you want to be in all facets of the game. I think that's the important thing. He's out there playing football, and the way he sees the field is probably unique to himself, and that's why he's able to do all those things.
How much of a relationship do you still have with Lamar? Like, do you guys stay in touch at all? Or?
We don't stay in touch, but I mean, we saw each other a couple years ago. I mean, we were very, I think we put a smile on each other's faces, and I enjoyed being with him, and I'm kind of like that with pretty much everybody I've played with. It's not like that I keep directly in touch with them, but when we see each other, it'll be like right back to 2018. So.
Joe, it didn't feel like there were a whole lot of downfield shots against the Bengals. Was that game plan or just what Cincinnati was doing?
Probably, a little bit of both, but I think just what we were doing, we had success with. I think we were able to hit some checkdowns that kind of acted as part of the run game, and we were able to get some chunks, but just kind of in the intermediate area and not have to throw the ball down the field that much. Sometimes when you want to throw the ball down the field, you call plays to do it, and it doesn't end up happening, and it's week to week. So in that respect, it's probably just more based on, the coverages that they played, when we called certain plays.
Just similar to the Lamar question I asked you, when you were coming out, I think a lot of the excitement about you as a young player was the size, the arm strength. How important was it for you to be able to develop the mental process and developing how to run defense?
Well, listen, I think processing and, being able to just see the field and make quick decisions, I think that's always important. Because at the end of the day, when you're playing against good defenses, they're going to force you to do that at some point, and you have to be able to stand in there and make that happen. So it was a very important thing for me to develop.
We'll be back with you guys on the field at least tomorrow.
Yeah.
And maybe play on Sunday. How great would it be for you to have him back on the playing field on Sunday?
Yeah, listen, I think anytime we get to have our full 53 and the guys that are, the guys that are going to make an impact for us here with us, it's exciting. Listen, obviously he hasn't gotten the reps and been at it, for all of training camp and things like that, but I'm sure we're going to, try to get his legs in there and get him some reps as quickly as we can to kind of bring him up to speed. So, like I said, anytime you get one of your guys back that you feel like can make an impact, it's an exciting thing.
Joe, what is it about the Ravens' culture defensively? It doesn't matter personnel on the field doesn't seem to matter, coordinator or scheme. They just always seem to play a very hard, tough, physical brand of defensive football.
Listen, I think when you make things important and when you truly, you don't just put them on the board, you truly make it an important part of who you are as a football team, then you tend to kind of go in that direction. And I think, ever since kind of Ray was drafted, and then Ed and Suggs and Elodie and all these guys, but I think it probably started with Ray. That became the culture, and it became. I think they were able to win with that pretty quickly, and I think they saw as an organization the importance of what that type of style of play can do for you, and they made a point to make it part of their identity. And I think the people that they have in that building have carried that through for the last 30 years, and that's why it happens. They definitely emphasize it, and therefore it actually comes to fruition on Sundays.
Did you have that conversation with Andre over darts? And are you glad that he's getting another chance?
Of course. No, I did not have the conversation yet over darts. We haven't played yet this week, but of course I'm glad. Listen, that's what this league's about. It's what's next game up, next play up. All that really matters is what you do going forward. So I'm excited for him, and I'm excited for our team, always to get that next opportunity.
Is this right up there just in terms of magnitude and emotion for games that you've played in your career? I mean, I know it's not a playoff game or like that, but I mean, just going back there for the first time?
I mean, listen, I'd probably say no, because there has been so many important games that I've played in my career. But I don't think you can answer that until you go there and you kind of feel what it is. Like I said, I think it has been a decent amount of time. So just in terms of the team versus the team, there's very few guys that I recognize, on that team anymore. I mean, Marlon was there, and Lamar was there, and Mark Andrews was there. But it's a different football team, and the coaching staff, the people in the building. I think it's cool to go back and play there for that reason. For some of those people, it's going to be cool to go back and just play there because they got unbelievable fans that bring a lot of energy to that stadium. I think those are just. I don't know if it's a special thing in my mind, or I'm just excited to play in a cool atmosphere. Anytime I love playing in stadiums that. Have fans that are into the game and make it feel that much more interesting. This is one of those places. It always has been one of those places. That is also one of those places. It's an awesome place to play just because of the energy that fan base brings into that stadium every Sunday. So I'm just excited to kind of play in that atmosphere, just as you would be as a young kid. If somebody told you you're going to play in front of 100,000 at Notre Dame or Penn State or something like that, I think that's the cool part of it for me. And obviously I've never done it as an away player, but I can remember being in that stadium and they get loud. And I've seen some things. So it's going to be a lot of fun and definitely a challenge.
Hey, Jim, we know Ozzie Newsome from here for all those years. What was he like from a player's perspective to have in that organization?
I think you just looked at Ozzie and you're like, man, look at all he's done. He just had that way about him. And I think as players, you respected it so much just because he had done so much in this league as a player. And anytime you see that, it's hard not to just have the utmost respect for that person. And then, obviously, to go on and do what he's done after that and kind of the role that he's played in that organization. And, if you talk about, the defense they built and all those things, I think he's one of those guys that's right up there in terms of building that type of culture.
Would you say in terms of emotion then, that 2022 meeting against Baltimore when you were with the Jets, because you had more players that you knew on that team?
I definitely think playing them in the past and getting that little bit out of the way, I do think that was probably, even though it wasn't in Baltimore, just from playing the Baltimore Ravens, getting that out of the way already will make this a little bit easier. I know it's different, like I said, because we're going back to Baltimore, but just in terms of playing your old team and the emotions that come with that. Because listen, I mean, like I said, we were on good terms when I left, but at the same time, you know, it's natural to feel a certain way when you're going against a team that you're not playing for anymore. I've been a part of other players that do that, and you kind of try to act normal, but it is a big deal. You do want to go beat them, and it's a little bit of a difference. So I think the fact that I've done that, you know, been in that kind of environment before, this game will be a little bit more normal because I've already done it.
You're up.
All right, that's Browns quarterback Joe Flacco. Obviously, a lot in this game, a lot of emotions, a lot of memories.
30.
A lot for him to digest. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to hear from the coordinators. We're going to get some matchup previews for you. We'll have had a day of practice in the books here with the Cleveland Browns. Getting to practice number 2 tomorrow. ESPN Radio. Excuse me. ESPN Radio is next. Thanks for listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet on 850 ESPN Cleveland.